Tonight was a perfect example of why we need an objective system to determine college football's playoff field. Think about this. The number one team in college football at home is a slightly underthrown pass to the end zone different than a team that's lost 16 consecutive conference games. That's how close it can be in college football. That's why we need an objective system. But let's talk about the football game in Starkville between number one Mississippi State and unranked, nowhere close to the rankings, Arkansas. 17-10 Mississippi State win, coming back from 10-0 down to hang on to its number one position. This was really close. It was a really good football game in Arkansas. Bless your hearts there in Arkansas. Keep rooting for this football team. They will break through. It's a pretty quality football team. The best 0-5 conference team I can remember in memory. Brandon Allen, who has been much maligned in his career at Arkansas. A 47% passer last season against SEC competition, threw more touchdowns or more interceptions than touchdowns in the SEC last season. Finally looked like a field general, a true SEC-capable quarterback in the clutch against a quality opponent on the road. Then he threw that fateful interception to Will Redmond. Redmond, the junior defensive back for the Bulldogs, picks off his third pass of the season. And that closed the deal for Mississippi State as they march on to 8-0. And again, for Brandon Allen, boy, he really made some great throws on the last drive of this game, particularly finding the best tight end in the SEC and one of the best in all of college football, Hunter Henry. This kid is a playmaker, and what a targeted tight end, and what hands. Hauled in a terrific one-hander among his 7 catches for 110 yards. Mississippi State, despite struggling on offense with 3 turnovers, only scoring 17 points, they display the balance that they have on offense, which makes them a true contender to win a national championship. Of course, the Heisman leading candidate, Dak Prescott. Despite just 17 points produced, he threw for a career-high 331 yards, but he did get picked off twice, threw the 1 touchdown, and was 18 of 27. Josh Robinson on the ground, held in check by the Arkansas front 7, 19 carries, 64 yards, but the bowling ball also chipped up in the passing game. 6 catches for 110 yards for Josh Robinson. So for Arkansas, again at 0-5 with 16 consecutive conference losses, 13 of those under Brett Bielema. Keep plugging away. They've got LSU, Ole Miss, and Missouri to close out the conference season. Do they get a win there? It's going to be awfully tough for Arkansas not to repeat an 0-8 finish in the SEC. You would think that the best possible shot for Arkansas to break through would be against the Mizzou Tigers. Okay, for Mississippi State, against an unranked team, a winless team in the SEC, a team that's possibly not going to make it to a bowl game. Does this loss cost them? I don't think so. I think they're number one regardless. They have a tougher schedule than Florida State. They have more quality wins. Most certainly that Auburn win looks better and better on the resume, and also LSU. So they've got better wins on the resume than Florida State and a tougher overall schedule. So for Mississippi State, I don't think this costs them at all in hanging on to the number one ranking. Although if they lose a game and become clustered up with the rest of those teams at 1 loss, then this game needs to be analyzed and put into perspective amongst possible bad wins. Bad wins meaning you put this right in there with Ohio State defeating Penn State in overtime. Or how about Notre Dame over UNC 50-43? Or against Navy tonight by 10 points, a game that they finally put in the bag in the last minute of the game. Or some other games like Nebraska-McNeese State. Those type of wins for some other college football playoff contenders. That's if Mississippi State loses. It gets clumped together and needs to be compared against the 1-loss teams. But as long as the Bulldogs stay undefeated, hey, they are just winning. And with their schedule, that's enough. Would love to hear what you have to say about Mississippi State. And Arkansas fans, wipe away the tears. Give us some hope here, because I think this team definitely has it. They're a tough football team. They've got a 2-headed running back in Jonathan Williams and Alex Collins. And then they also have the defense that is playing much better. And if they get this kind of play out of Brandon Allen that they got tonight, then they're going to break through at some point against a very tough SEC schedule. All right, let's talk about it. right here on Mark Rogers TV, and I Talk SEC.